It's like a direct goal I've looked then.
Yeah.
You got my right line the way here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Young? Yeah. Well, Gary, 42 times this season you've had Danny Wright's name on the team sheet. So we haven't seen a plan B without Danny Wright. I'm assuming you've got one up your sleeve.
Yeah, we've always had plan B because we've got other strikers that are competing for that place. At one point we didn't have Amari competing for that place, and we had to cross our fingers a little bit and brought in Novakovic from Reading, and we had a couple of other little options, but the best option is the one we've got now, and of course it gives somebody's disappointment, gives somebody else the opportunity to play in their position.
You've had various jolts through the season, long-term injuries to various players. How big a jolt is this decision over the Brighton?
Well, obviously, if you lose your top striker, it's not good news, is it? Having said that, he is the top striker. He has done a great job for us. He has played 42 games, so he's certainly given us value for money, and maybe he needs a bit of a rest anyway. He took a couple of knocks as well, so it's just one of those things that he's disappointed with himself for stepping on someone. It wasn't a stamp, and it wasn't in aggression. It was we just scored. Do you know what I mean? So it was just a step. But anyway, you can't do those sort of things, and so he misses out, and it's disappointing for him because I think he'd like to have seen the whole season out. But he's certainly done his stint for us, and I don't feel that we'll be any weaker with the people that we've got available. So from my point of view, I'm not seeing it as a real downer, but it's just another one of those little icebergs that try and get in the way of your shit. But at the moment, through all the injuries, and we only had one other suspension, and other little things that one or two's been self-inflicted, one or two's been outside influences, and we have to keep steering around them. And I've told you that a few months ago, and I've got a list of the icebergs that we've had this season, and I'll bring them out when my book comes out.
So in terms of a selectorial choice, do you have a difficult choice to make, do you think?
Is that a word, selectorial? No, it's not a difficult choice, no. I've got to make sure that our team shape is the same. But if your team mentality is the same, then that's really what you're looking for. And I think the other lads, every time we've lost somebody, we've brought somebody in that's been able to do the job and do it okay. And that's why we are where we are in the league table. So it's credit to the squad, really, and credit to their picking up everything that we've been doing with them, so that everybody comes to the games, home and away, even our injured players, even our loan players that are not on loan anymore. They still come to games, so they all know exactly what's required of the team and individuals in their specific position. So I'm comfortable that people will come in and do the job.
You beat Guiseley with something to spare in the home game. Do you sense that they're better or worse or much about the same 5 months on?
Well, my old player, Adam Lockwood, he's come back in now. He's been injured for a long time, and I think he was a bit of a miss for him, and he did fantastic for me, and he's a good player, and I've watched a couple of games, their last couple of games, and it's not an easy place to go. It's not an easy team to play, and they've got ability across their team, and we've got to go there and play our best, because if we don't play our best, I've always said that teams that are fighting against relegation are obviously going to be putting everything in, and their spirit alone could win the day. So we've got to make sure that our spirit of wanting to win the league is as strong, if not more, and then hopefully your quality will come out if you've got more than the opposition, which the sort of points table tells you that you should have.
They've had a sequence of draws at home. You've had games away, Braintree, Welling, which have been quite bitty. Do you think that Guiseley will go along that route, or will they try and play a bit more than that?
I don't know. We'll have to wait to the day. It's about what we do, I think. And if we play well, then obviously that keeps them at arm's length. If we don't play well, they'll get their confidence up. And they've got players that can play well against teams that are not confident. But that hasn't happened to us many times. Two teams we got beat to were up there. A couple of away games, Guiseley and Braintree. We obviously got a result at Welling. Welling have done well since then, so we were the start of their half decent run and nearly getting out of trouble. So as I said, there's no bad teams. We got to make. If we're bad, then they're going to be good. But if we're good, then that's a different kettle of fish.
You mentioned about instead of having an easy choice in terms of who comes in up front for you. Does that lean towards the greater physicality of Amari?
Well, it can do. You've also got Billy Waters that's looking for a game soon. He's doing okay, and he needs to be get back to where he was when he was scoring his hat tricks. Did he score an hat trick or a couple? Then he got two, didn't he? But so we've got that, and obviously Dan Ullman at the moment is like two strikers for you. So we're going to be comfortable. We know these things happen. I've been in these situations many times where just when you think that you just got to step over that line, you've got to do a lot more than just step over that line. You've got to keep focused, concentrate, keep making sure that the boys are all up for it, and then when they slot into their positions, whether it be up front or somewhere else, they can do the job and they're ready to do the job.
So the concept of playing two smaller mobile forwards in Waters and Holman is something that's still running around your head?
Yeah. No, you don't know. I've got no problem in height, as you know. And if I need to play, two little ones, I can. Obviously, you just slightly play a different game if you've got to do that. It's no use smacking it up in the air, although Dan Ullman's pretty good in the air and Billy's not. But listen, it's we got in our mind what we think the team will be Saturday. We won't probably decide until tomorrow morning when we'll do a little bit of training before we travel up.
Would that team include Kyle Storer potentially, or how?
Do you know my team or what?
Yeah. If
Time.
possible, yeah.
Keep time, mate. Sorry, mate. Go on. What was that?
Storer?
Well, Stars is at this moment in time seems okay, which is good, because we need him on the pitch because of his experience and what he's done this season, and he's our team captain. So, but again, we won't know for sure with two or three of them really till tomorrow morning.
How much is it frustration that you're going to have to change the team, given that Amari did well in that midfield, and Wrighty and Holman played so well together against Grimsby?
I mean, I suppose it is frustrating. Of course it is, because ideally a manager just wants to say, right, same team, go again, well done, you won last week. But that's not the reality. The reality is that you have to chop and change a little bit, and you have to be aware. That's the beauty of we actually do quite a lot of 11v11s, and sometimes I'll move them so they're working with different partners and different, just for a rainy day, just in case you have to put two that you may not have thought would play together. All of a sudden you've got to do it. Might be centre halves or full-back and a winger, or two midfielders, two strikers. And we do that, and I'm pleased I do that, because it means there's never a pairing that I've put together that haven't done some form of training together.
See, the Forest Green game didn't go entirely in your favour, but it went quite a lot in your favour on Saturday. 4 up, 4 to play. I think 6 points would mean they have to win every game now. Do you have little targets that you want to get to?
No, the target this Saturday is to get a result, and then look at the results when you come in and see if they haven't got a result. And if they haven't got a result, then and we have, then that we can be promoted in the home game against Halifax. If they haven't got a result, you can still get promoted in the home game against Halifax if both teams win.
Mm.
And then it'll be down to Woking to stop Forest Green, or and Halifax to try and stop us. So it's a fantastic time of the season. I love this part of the season because this is what you're in the game for. This sort of pressure, this sort of feeling. Friday night, who doesn't want that at their football club? Do you know what I mean? What a fantastic atmosphere, and the lads loved it. And I came into the dressing room thinking that, after doing all the press, thinking that all the celebrations were over and they were only just starting in there. But celebrations winning the game, because that they knew how important the game was. Not celebrations in winning the league, but in celebrations in winning that game that put us in a very good position leading into the next game. And that's where we are at the minute. So we've got to embrace it and we've got to enjoy it, because it goes really quick and you don't get them every season. And some of these lads are really keen to play in the Football League, because a lot of them haven't, and that's massive for them. So they've got hopefully the right spirit, and if you're good enough, then hopefully you get there in the end.
Did you get the feeling that the energy from last week makes them want to get it over and done with as quick as they can, so they can enjoy it?
Well, I always say as well, don't wish your life away, sort of thing. Enjoy what you're doing today, and right here, right now is our song coming out, and that's true, and that's how I'm trying to get them to think, because we can all think too far ahead, but you just got to focus and concentrate on the next game, and if you do, then all your energies go into that next game, which is another cup final at the moment, So, and then if you do your job, then if we do our job for the rest of the season, we're promoted. So we've got to make sure we do it properly.
Sounds like you've had a look at both teams' run-ins, and you know the score and know the maths and
of course I
and
do.
everything.
I know everything. I know the shoe sizes of all the opposition. I know what hurts them, what don't hurt them. What. Listen, you can't just drift through it. You've got to do some work, and a manager has to earn his corn by doing a lot more than what is seen on video sometimes. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of psychological bits and pieces as well. Cue your next question.
Thank you very much, Gary. It's the next question.